Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
All right, Bino, Jeff Henderson, I want to check, now that we're live today here at Calhouns on the river where we be today. Bino, Jeff Henderson, I want to check with you because we got young Walker up here, Walker McClanahan. You bow your head when you say thy name. He's getting an education today, Beanstar.
He is, Tony. He most certainly is.
Now, Bino, I'm going to see how well you were paying attention. How old's that young man?
He's 10 years old.
10. What's his favorite sport?
Whatever's in season.
Boom! I love kids like that because that's where I am at. That's where I'm at. Whatever's in season's my favorite sport. Right now, the baseball balls are on our dial. Do we have one more loud bang in us this weekend? Yes or no, Bino, Jeff Henderson? Where are you as we get close to this thing?
Tony, I'm back to Tennessee's baseball history. Just get there.
Just get there.
Just get there.
Yep.
And after the performance on Monday,
yep,
I'm a lot more confident going into Arkansas than I thought I would be.
Matt Dixon's on his way down. He's covering it for us. We decided to invest in it as we aim to bring you the best coverage that we possibly can. We're live today at Calhoun's on the river where it's absolutely outstanding. We already have folks out here today. God bless you all for being here. And listen, big game Artie's in the house. When my man Artemis shows up, forget about it. When I see Artemis here, listen.
Artemis isn't missing too many days in the gym, is he?
No, his arm day is my leg day. He's got my legs growing out of his arm sockets. Mike Huguenin's going to join us on the other side. Hey, Bino, buying, selling, or trading? ESPN has our football team preseason number 10 in the FPI. Are you buying, selling, or trading that?
I'm not buying that.
Okay.
I'm not buying it.
We're going to talk with Hughie on those.
If that happens, that's easy. Well,
that's Coach of the Century stuff.
I mean, it'll be
Coach of the Century.
It'll be as good as year 2. It'll be as good as the coaching job.
It'll be the best job he's ever done.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, think of where we are right now.
Yeah.
Not even close, yeah. This is going to be, hey, this guy can coach it, though. He can coach it up. We're going to come back on the other side. We got our site producer here today. We've got the best in audio coming back to us. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Huguenin on the other side right after this.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather & Kittrell Capital Management. And here at Rather & Kittrell, we understand that life is full of transitions. Since 2000, our team of dedicated certified financial planners has been helping individuals, families, and businesses navigate these changes with confidence. From comprehensive wealth management to tailored retirement plans, we're committed to guiding you toward a secure financial future. Ready to take the next step? Visit rkcapital.com or call us at 865-218-8400 to start your journey today. Rather & Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Summer officially starts this month, and the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe before extreme Tennessee temperatures arrive. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limon. Muchas gracias, limon. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hot there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, I've got good news for you. The East Tennessee and Knoxville areas are projected to have another strong year. I'll be happy to talk with you about the latest and greatest info you need. So give me a call at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhouns and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Tony B back with you as we welcome you back on the one, the only. It is your Tony Basilio show. The great Hughie is here with us. Hughie, I love when they give us things to talk about live on the deck here at Calhoun's on the river where we be. Fired up, focused, and prepared. Absolutely excited. Couldn't be more pumped right now. If we tried, we couldn't be more fired up. Brian, for some reason, you've made a loop in my ear somehow when we brought our call in. But let's bring Hughie in. Hughie, okay, so the FPI has My Tennessee Volunteers 10th in America. Are you buying, selling, or trading that, Hughie? Where are you?
I think the offense limits them. I don't think the ceiling is as high as it would have been with Nico. I think Aguilar is going to be adequate. I don't think you can be an adequate quarterback in the SEC, though, and end up 10th in the nation.
Me and Bino were talking. If in fact that was to occur, Bino, you're talking about a 10-2 season. Josh Heupel is coach of the century.
Yeah, it is a difficult schedule, obviously, partly because it's in the SEC. But the defense lost some key guys. The offense lost its best player, and I'm not talking about Nico. I'm talking about the running back, Mr. Sampson. The receiving core is still a little bit of a question, as is the offensive line. So, if Tennessee is 10th, it will have been a phenomenal season for the Vols.
Let's go through the list here. Hey, Bino, I look down, and I throw this to you. I see Texas number 1, Georgia number 2, Ohio State number 3, Alabama number 4, Penn State number 5. What jumps out to you, Bino, if anything there, in terms of either don't belong or they got it right? What do you think?
Well, I think in most everything that you look at, Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State are going to be your top 3.
Yep.
Alabama, I don't know. That looks a little high to me.
You got that Simpson kid is going to be their quarterback, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, they're not sure what they've got at that position, so that's awfully high for a team that's not sure what they have at the most important position.
They've been running 50-50 with us over the last several years. I'm going to sell them at number 4. Hughie, am I wrong in doing that?
No, I think you can, frankly, question all 5 of those. I see why they are 1 through 5, but each of the first 4 big-time quarterback questions. Number 5 has a returning starter at quarterback, but yeah, how good is Drew Aller? So again, Texas has got a great roster. Georgia's got a great roster. Ohio State's going to have a great roster. I don't know about Alabama's roster, and Penn State lost its best defensive players, with possessive or plural rather. Their offensive line lost some key guys. Their receiving core was underwhelming last year. There's a lot riding on the Penn State running game. Again, I can understand why those 5 teams are there because they are talented rosters, but you can make a strong case that all 5 of those are going to lose at least 2 games.
It's a Super Regional Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We're fired up, folks, and prepared, but my man Mike Huguenin joins. ESPN dropped this on us, and we're talking about it. Let me read to you the top 5. As Hughie says, you can make a case that any of these teams don't belong there, which is kind of a surprising answer till you start looking at it. Arch Manning's played about 45 minutes of college football. That's the truth. Georgia has a kid, Bino, coming off a gruesome injury at quarterback. Last time we saw him, they're number 2. They went into the portal, and they grabbed a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I mean, they went and got like 10 or 11 guys out of the portal, including overhauling their entire wide receiving core, and they sit at number 2 in America. Ohio State lost a ton off their national championship team, but yet they return a plethora. I mean, they've just been talent collectors in this era. Alabama, the team I'm selling, I agree with Hughie. And then you look down at Drew Aller at Penn State. The last time we saw Aller on a football field, he was embarrassingly bad, Bino. And he's a guy that runs hot or cold. Some people think he could be the number 1 pick in this year's upcoming draft. I got to see that to believe it. Let's go 6 through 10, Hughie, and see if the question marks continue. The Oregon Ducks, who outspend everybody when it comes to matters of the portal. You've got the Clemson Tigers, who we left for dead several years ago. And look at them. Right back there, Cade Klubnik, who many people were hoping Nico was going to go off this year and have the Cade Klubnik-type season. But he left before we could ever see that develop here. You've got the Hurricanerama of Miami. They're a question mark. Notre Dame is number 9, and our Volunteers are 10. Bino, when you look at that top 10, it feels wide open in college football, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. I'm like Mike. You look up there at all the quarterback questions, but the bigger question is, who in the world could you replace Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State with? I'm not sure there's anyone else that you would be comfortable replacing them with, even though they've got questions.
Hughie, how do you answer that?
Yeah, Bino's right. I mean, there's a reason that those coaches make a ton of money, and it's because they recruit exceedingly well. The one team that's intriguing to me is, you pointed out, Clemson. Klubnik threw 36 TD passes last year, only 6 interceptions. He is by far the leading returner among quarterbacks with TD passes. Second is Chandler Morris, who left North Texas. I don't even know where he is now. I think he went to an ACC school, I'm pretty sure. But another thing with Clemson, the ACC is not good. Clemson, it would not surprise me if they don't lose a game. It's a well-coached team. Yeah, they have some questions offensively at receiver. I don't know who their stud running back's going to be, but it's a good defense. They got talented players up front on defense. The The secondary should be okay. The linebackers, they lose Barrett Carter, but they're still going to be okay there. But Klubnik, I think, if he makes the same kind of jump that he made from sophomore to junior, from junior to senior, he's going to be a Heisman finalist. Again, you look at the schedule, and that's a big positive for any team that's talented in the ACC because there's a lot of flotsam and jetsam in the ACC. Miami, to me, is vastly overrated. How good's Carson Beck going to be in that offense? How healthy is he going to be? Plus, you got the crystal ball factor. They lose at least one game every single season that they have no business losing. You can make the case last year that they lost 3 of those, the last 3. Miami had a playoff spot. All they basically had to do was take 2 steps, and instead they ran a mile the other way. So I think Miami's a question mark until we see how healthy Beck is, and Beck's going to have to overcome some poor coaching. Again, we talked about Tennessee already. Oregon, they recruit well. They do good in the portal. They have a lot of fast players. It's a very fast team. But yeah, I mean, again, that's we've gone basically 1 through 10, and we've picked apart all 10 of them. And I would argue that the one that has the least questions is Clemson. And they're also
they
in a
play
very
no
easy
schedule.
league.
Yep.
I don't know if they are the most talented team in the country, but I think their record is going to be, I can see Clemson going unbeaten because of the league they're in.
So out of the FPI, and I reject the FPI out of hand. I think it's junk science. I think it's ESPNing. It's kind of like all those years we had a quarterback rating, and that was good enough. But then they had to invent their own thing because they're ESPN, and they annoy me. But I will say this. If you look at the way they divide these teams up, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, easy for me to count, 4 SEC teams, 3 Big Ten teams, 2 from the ACC, and 1 independent. In other words, it's the same old, same old. Any way you want to cut it, it's those 2 leagues.
You look at the SEC, and Texas and Georgia should be at the top. And yet, at the same time, if they both lose 2 games, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised. The Big Ten, same teams as last year, but Indiana's not there, obviously. But Ohio State, is their quarterback going to be anything close to what Howard was last year? Is Drew Lock going to be much better? Oregon's breaking in a new quarterback. They have talent, but it's the same. It's the same questions about all the top teams with their quarterbacks, except for Clemson. And even Notre Dame's got a new quarterback. So there are quarterback questions for a lot of great teams, or supposedly great teams, and that's generally the defining factor of a title team is high-level play from a quarterback. So a lot of these teams are going to have to get high-level play from guys with question marks. And I understand that Arch Manning is the second coming of God himself, but at the same time, I find it hard to believe that Steve Sarkisian, if Arch Manning was better than Quinn Ewers, why wouldn't he have played Arch Manning last year and won a national title?
All right, Bino, Jeff Henderson, trivia question for you as Mike Huguenin is on with us for a few more minutes here. He's got to roll. Who am I selling, Bino, from the next 10 as we make our way through the top 20 ESPN FPI, which is making me feel better about Tennessee's upcoming season, to be completely honest with you. Who am I selling, Bino?
And this is the easiest thing I've done since graphing on the number line in college. Number 11, Texas A&M, so you're selling.
Hughie, what in the world is A&M doing at 11, and are you buying, selling, or trading them there?
Well, I think that Elko's a good coach. I think he's certainly better than Jimbo Fisher. I'm not a huge believer in Marcel Reed, but I am a gigantic believer in Le'Veon Moss, the running back. And the interesting thing about A&M last year, they started 7-1. That one loss was to Notre Dame in the opener. So then they won 7 in a row. Then they played South Carolina on Moss's second carry of the game. a 20-yard carry, by the way. He gets hurt, doesn't play the rest of the season. And he got hurt early in the first quarter. A&M won one game the rest of the way. That was the New Mexico State game. Le'Veon Moss is a gigantically important player, not only for A&M, but in the entire SEC. Because I think that kid he's awesome. And the thing that has to stick in the craw of LSU fans, the dude is from Baton Rouge. And you look at LSU's rushing attack, and these guys they can't run the ball. Oh, look at Le'Veon Moss, who went to high school 8 miles from the LSU campus, and they couldn't get him to go to LSU. A&M's defense is going to be well coached, but, man, they lost a ton of guys up front. So 11 seems a little bit overrated, but I think Le'Veon Moss is a legit difference maker. And if Marcel Reed improves a little bit as a passer, that's an interesting team.
Hughie, when you look down, you've got it, I'm sure. You got A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, Michigan, and South Carolina from 11 to 16. Which
Auburn? See, that's insanity. Insanity. I don't get that at all. I'm selling Auburn more than I'm selling anybody else in that entire 1 through 16. What exactly makes you think Auburn? What makes anybody think Auburn's going to be a 9-win team? I don't know unless you're taking hallucinogenics. I don't trust Hugh Freeze anymore because his big-time weapon was illegal recruiting, and now everybody can do that. Their defense is good. Their offense, I don't. They got one good receiver. Their best running back's gone. I don't know about their offensive line. Auburn is ludicrous to me. Ole Miss with Austin Simmons. He's got a high ceiling, but I also think he has an extremely low floor, and I don't know what he's going to be closer to this season, if it's the floor or the ceiling. Michigan, counting on a true freshman quarterback. Let's see if that pays off. But yeah, I think again the top 20, any top 20 is going to be riddled with teams with questions. But yeah, Auburn to me that's insane.
That same group of 6 teams, Mike, which one makes the playoffs?
Out of that 6, read them again.
A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, your Auburn Tigers, Hughie, Michigan or South Carolina?
Out of those, I'd say LSU, just because they do have a returning starter quarterback. And I know South Carolina does as well, and I don't know about the rest of the roster at South Carolina. I think LSU has the best chance, though I will say that they spend a ton of money in the portal, and I'm not sure they spend it all that wisely. So Nussmeier presumably will cut back on his mistakes. Presumably they will have a pulse when it comes to running the ball. The fact that LSU was the worst team in the SEC in rushing last year should blow everybody's mind. Georgia was second worst. But Georgia has a defense, and I'm not 100% convinced LSU's defense is going to be all that. But I still think LSU has the best chance among the teams, among those 6, just because I am a Nussmeier believer to an extent.
Hughie, all right, here you go, buddy. Now, let's laugh together. They have Oklahoma 17, SMU 18, Florida 19, and Kansas State 20. Which of those 4 does not belong?
Man. Okay, K-State's got the quarterback back. Florida's got the quarterback back. Read them again, I'm sorry.
4 are Oklahoma Sooners, SMU, Florida Gators, Kansas State. Because I think all 4 of those teams could be, if Oklahoma's quarterback hits this year, they could be around that range where they lose 3 games and end up in the bottom of the top 20. Talk to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think with Mateer, I mentioned Le'Veon Moss being a vitally important guy. So was Mateer, because Oklahoma's defense last year was playoff worthy. The offense wouldn't have won games in a state high school tournament. So that's Mateer, and they spent a lot of money on their offense. And they also brought in Mateer's offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, who's well thought of in the industry. Florida's got a monster schedule again, and you got Billy Napier calling plays. So of those four, I think I'm less inclined to believe in Florida. But I think the talent is there at Florida. I just don't think the head coach is all that good as a play caller. In fact, I think he's a bad play caller. Kansas State is interesting because you figure the quarterback's going to be a little bit better. Oklahoma, Mateer, that's a fascinating team because you're right. They could go if Mateer's is what they think he is. He could be 9. Oklahoma could be 9-3, maybe even 10-2.
Yeah, no question. They'd come here and win, which would be a flip game. They were a flip game for us last year. Reason we made the playoffs. We could be a flip game for this year, and the reason they make the playoffs, which is kind of an interesting aside when you play these home and away deals. Hey, Bino, you and Huguenin, let me ask you this. The SEC has 11 of the top 19 in that deal. Is that how the season finishes? Yes or no, Beanstar? Will the SEC at the end of the year have 11 of the top 19 in college football? What's Bino?
No. I just think it's going to – the league's going to chew itself up.
Hughie, what do you think?
Where you don't have it.
And I thought you mentioned one Big 12 team.
That would be one Big 12 team.
The first one.
And that's Kansas State at the very bottom. That is correct. Yep.
See, that's illogical, I would say. And three ACC teams, I can see that, though I think Miami's vastly overrated. But, 11 of 19, maybe from strictly roster talent, yes, obviously. But quarterback play, coaching, there's a lot of things that go into a winning season, and there are SEC teams that have, we talked about Georgia and Texas right off the top. Great rosters, but how good's their quarterback? Alabama, very good roster. How good's their quarterback? How good's Tennessee's quarterback going to be? How good's Ole Miss's quarterback going to be? And man, they also went heavy into the portal as usual. Are all those portal guys going to pay off this year? So there's a lot of questions about those 11 SEC teams that are in the top 19.
Hughie Bear, I love you. Is there anything else you'd care to add on the way out? Incredible appearance by you today as we look ahead to college football season.
No, it's just the NBA playoffs. I mean, if last night's game is an example, oh my God, this is going to be phenomenal. And the NCAA tournament was phenomenal because of so many veteran players because of NIL. I think that's better for the NBA as well because they get better. A lot of the second-round picks who make teams are guys who played college ball for 4 or 5 years, and that's a positive. When your 8th or 9th guy off the bench is a young guy who played 4 or 5 years of college, that's a positive. And I know the young stars don't play more than a year, but I think the NIL, yes, it's improved college basketball. I also think it's going to make the NBA noticeably better off their benches in the next 3 or 4 years, and starting with this year, frankly.
Hughie, you're the man. That series is going to be an absolute classic. And the weird thing we've seen in the NBA this year, Bino, is that home court advantage really doesn't matter. These teams are winning in each other's buildings. That means those fans can sit there and cheer all they want. These are the guys at the top of their powers, literally taking target practice out there. Halliburton made a 27-footer to win that game last night, Bino.
Yeah,
a 27-footer.
I think people forget that he was pretty good at Iowa State, but I don't think anybody watched him at Iowa State and said, "Oh, that guy's going to be the leader of a team that plays for the NBA title." No. Same with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, though. So,
these dudes make 27-footers.
And they lost. And you know what? One thing about the Pacers, they had nobody score 20 points, and they won an NBA Finals game.
Wow. Thank you, my man. Great talking to you.
Next week.
You watch that sport now. You watch those guys shoot that basketball. There's no way the inventors of basketball ever thought we'd have a day where guys can sit out there 30 feet away. They're so good at shooting now in the NBA level. Why would you take a 2?
I don't know, Tony. Halliburton's just he's just amazing. He doesn't get nearly the credit he deserves for the player he is. And tune in the last 5 minutes has never been more relevant in NBA basketball than in these playoffs. It's been unbelievable.
And that Indiana team beat a New York team that did in their previous couple of series exactly what they did to that team last night.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the middle of that third quarter, you'd have turned that off and said that game's over. They got zero chance. They're in this hostile environment. They're in a city that's never won a major championship. You know, Oklahoma City, you can just feel it's a real big deal. The thing about that Oklahoma City team is they might be a little too young to close that deal. That's going to be a very, very fun appointment. I bet that thing does even though it's 2 smaller markets, I bet that thing does pretty good numbers because that's going to be a fun series to watch.
I believe they opened minus 700. OKC minus 700.
Wow!
And I couldn't get the VIP app downloaded quick enough to. Because you can bet that's come way down.
865-200, 5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. Tony Valls and myself, Bino, we're having a little text thread. Say, look, we're going back and forth with each other. And as soon as I ask him who his starter is today,
he's gone. Or he should have told you, one's starting today, Tony.
He disappeared on me. I'm like, Tony, give me the rotation. My last word to him was, talk to me. Now, when did he answer talk to me? Has he answered it? No.
You're blocked.
I'm showing it to the Beanstar. Come on, Tony, talk to me. He's like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. Because I'm not going to talk to you. And therefore, you're not going to get talked to. But anyway, good for you, Tony. We're glad you want the information. When we come back, I got to ask Bino, Jeff Henderson. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask the living listener. Ask everybody involved. This baseball team have one more in them as we're live today here at Calhouns on the River. That's the question. Do they have one more in them? Sammy says yes. We'll come back. And how great, when you look at the history of that sport, is this, Coach? That they've gotten here with the season they've had is miraculous. To do it 5 years in a row. And Matt Dixon said it. If you go back and look at the century here, they didn't get to Hoover 5 straight years.
No. It's just a generational job we're seeing, Tony. I've said it time and time again. He's the first generational program builder here in my lifetime.
So we'll talk about that. Mike Rooney on here said, break it down scientifically. Darren's telling me he hit 2 mid-range shots to win the game. Well, Darren, in my mind, it was a long way out, big boy, so relax. A caller roster unlike any other awaits. And so we continue live at Calhouns on the River on this Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, moving right to left across your device. Whatever you do, don't try this at home as we celebrate another championship Tennessee baseball weekend on the deck at Calhouns on the River after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club teams start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Listen up, baseball fans. It's time to step up to the plate and get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Don't you dare swing and miss by shopping elsewhere. Alumni Hall has the best selection, top brands for you to choose from. Shop in store, 3 Knoxville locations, or Bristol or Murfreesboro. Anytime online, anywhere in the world at alumnihall.com. Come grab your Tennessee baseball jerseys. Incredible. Oh, Coach Vitello's jersey, hats, decals, t-shirts, and so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 spent. Shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Go Vols from Alumni Hall. Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather & Kittrell Capital Management. Life is full of transitions. Planning for retirement, managing investments, or navigating major life changes. Here at Rather & Kittrell, we're here to guide you through every step. Visit rkcapital.com or call 865-218-8400 to start your journey toward financial clarity today. Rather & Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Tony B here. We start them early, ladies and gentlemen. And you never start the weekend early enough. You never start we're live today here at Calhouns on the River. What an absolute blessing it is. You heard my VIP Play friends. I want to remind you that we've got a special bet. Last week's ticket cash, Bino. How about Basilio hitting a parlay last week?
I like it, Tony.
I told you clowns 1 week ago that Wake Forest team was going to get eviscerated by Cincinnati. And we looked up in that first inning, and it was something like 6-0. You remember that? You looked at me and went, what's gotten into you, dude? Here's the VIP play of the week this week, my Pick 3 parlay. It's called Basilio's Baseball Pick 3. And I'm on it right now. I got to tell you right now, I got a beat on this tournament unlike any other. I got a special pipeline to the stars, and here we go. Bino, I want to see if you agree or disagree, and then we go to the phones. Tennessee-Arkansas series. The play in that one is over 2.5 games for the series.
It goes the distance, okay.
What do you say? Goes the distance. If there is a sweep, Bino, who sweeps whom? If there is a sweep.
If there is a sweep, we sweep them with Phillips and Doyle.
Goal! Get you some of that. Get you some of that, Hogville. By the way, Tina out here is having barbecue. She's having some ribs in honor of the Hogs here, which I love. So you've got the other white meat. You've got Tennessee, Arkansas over 2.5 games. I've got North Carolina to roll Arizona like a joint cigarette. Bino, what say you on that Herbie Hancock rocket?
I'm trusting you on North Carolina. You've been on North Carolina the whole way. You're staying right there.
Let me tell you something about North Carolina. They could cut the nets down. Davy Boy Nathan, they might just win it all. And then, to compound things, we're going to stay with the ACC to stay hot. I've got Florida State and Link Jarrett getting back to the College World Series where last year Tony Valls broke their heart. Florida State should have beaten us on that Friday night. Now, they don't have the same team they had. But I got Florida State to win the series at Oregon State in Corvallis. Bino, what say you?
Going on the road?
Going on the road.
To beat the Beavs.
For your time, your talent, and your troubles, ladies and gentlemen, that Basilio Baseball Pick 3 over at VIP Play is juiced to plus 350. And I say yes.
You have to do TN Tony to get that.
And the promo
juice.
code is TN Tony. $5 bet, you get $100 in bonus bets laid on there like some people did last week, and they walked out of there with some money in their account.
You've always made people money on your bets, Tony.
Well, Bino, I've got a guy out there. He's been fading me for years. He sent me a big tip one time at tclub.team. He said, everything you said this year, I played the opposite. Here's your tip. He gave me like $300. I said, hey, that's the kind of insults I can live with, bro. Keep it coming.
Tony, guys like us that can miss the vast majority of them are just as valuable as the guys that hit the vast majority.
No question. All right, Bino, talk to me about this series. If you are
guys like Joshy Boy, he can hit a parlay. And
if you are our Tennessee Volunteers, have we named a starter? Does anybody know? Brian Hartman produces. He hadn't sent me anything. Who's your starter tomorrow, Bino? How we playing it?
If it were me, Tony, I would go Phillips first. Let Stone catch him, and you give Liam Doyle one extra day. If it were normal rest, I would go with Liam Doyle the first game. But under these circumstances, I'm giving him that extra day of rest, and I'm throwing him in game 2.
If you get a semi-lead tomorrow, not to sound ignorant here, okay, but say we hit the baseball well again. Say Bargo runs into 1 or 2 like he did last time we were down there, and you get a lead. Do you get Phillips out of there with the thought that on Monday I could come back with him like we see these teams do in these short series? Or do you just let him ride Sally ride and ride it till you can ride it?
I let him ride, and I try to make A.J. Russell the game 3 starter. Save him just in case of game 3.
I like that.
What I don't want is to use both of them in game 1.
I like that a lot. All right, let's go to the phones. We're live on the deck here at Calhoun's on the River. Thank you to all you who have come out. It's incredible. I love this place. We've just signed a deal, Bino. We're going to be back here in the fall for the how many consecutive season? We just inked a deal with them.
Gosh, I don't know, Tony. It's been a long, long time.
And we have some special.
We're blessed.
We have some special surprises coming up in the fall. I think we're going to remind me to tell you about this during the break, Bino.
Okay.
Which one of us is going to remember, do you think, to talk about that?
Walker.
That's my man right there, young Walker. Walker, how old are you, if anything? How old are you? 10. 10? What do you think, Walker, of being out here so far? I want your humble opinion.
It's been fun.
Fun?
I've liked learning about how a show goes on.
The show? You like learning about it? Does this look like I have a hard job to you, Walker? What do you think?
Sort of. Not really.
Oh, not really, sort of. He's got the level of respect for me the rest of this audience does.
Does being out here today with us make you want to go back to summer school?
No.
Not really, no. Thank you, Bina. I asked that kid, do I work? Not really, no. Like an absolute schlep to me, Basilio. Let's go to the phones. Let's get William in here. William, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, y'all. How you doing today?
William, you have quickly risen up the charts. You are one of Bino's callers.
All right, so I was looking up the college football top 25 just to see the top 10. The website I looked at, it said Tennessee was number 9. That's completely incorrect.
Where does Tennessee belong, William, in your opinion?
That Ohio State loss was disgusting. Good Lord. About either 11 or 12. 11 or 12. Let's go with 12.
So, Bino, he wants to bump us back to 11 or 12. Bino, what say you on 11 or 12 for the Volunteers this year?
I will be thrilled with an 11 or 12 finish, Tony.
No question. I can picture Josh Heupel right now in a toga, okay, being carried down Gay Street, a parade for him if they went 10-2 and finished like 11th and scratched into the playoffs. I'm talking Josh, me and you carrying the front of the toga. All hail Josh Heupel. If they got that team to a 10-2 finish, carry the guy down down Gay Street and let's have a parade in downtown. Because that would be, I think 9-3, Bino, with the team we have would be a really nice football season. Am I wrong?
Well, I want to see the team that we have, Tony. But I think 9 wins will be a really nice season this year.
Also, I'm also thinking about going to the Syracuse game. I live close to Atlanta.
That's a great idea, William. How far from Atlanta are you, William? How far from Atlanta are you?
Not that far. It should be like a couple minutes, like 30, 20 something, probably even 30. Because I live in Fort O.
Bino, do you know where that is?
Oglethorpe?
Fort Oglethorpe, yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that where Lake Winnipesaukee is, or that park? What do they call that, Bino? Lake Winnie. You been there?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there, William, to Lake Winnie?
Yeah, and I've been there with my cousin as well.
There you go. William, what happens this weekend, if anything, in your humble opinion, on the way out here?
Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Let me get what I call the Tennessee National Anthem in here. Good old Rocky Top. If anything, I think Tennessee's going to win in 2. You win the first game, lose the other, then you win the other. Go on to that World Series. Let's go Big Orange.
William, I love you because you do math like I do, and you have a good day. Bino, that man said they're going to win in 2. They're going to win 1, lose 1, and win that third one, win in 2. That's my kind of math, Bino.
Hey, when you start listening to the Basilio show when you're 7 years old, that's what happens.
This poor kid that has the headphones on right now.
He's thinking, what in the world?
Well, no, 2 hours of this show directly into his brain, like he's mainlining the show right now. Yeah. What is it going to do to him? Think about what we're doing to this kid's gray matter and his development.
I'd rather not.
Whew. That kid just said that we're going to win it in 2. It's going to go 3 games and we're going to win it in 2. That's my kind of math right there. On a Friday morning.
Let's stay down there and scrimmage them that last game, Tony.
Speaking of which, let's have a word about Vitello here real quick before we do anything else, because you got to put this stuff. You know, when you live through these great periods in sports, you can get kind of piggish about it. And I think this year, if we're all a little honest, we all kind of took this season because this team was not, they weren't fun. They were like pulling teeth, in fact. So if you look at just putting Tony in perspective, we did a thing off the top today. And by the way, Orange Throw today, and Matt Dixon delivered with the greatest of ease.
Excellent.
Brian Hartman, if Tennessee performs anywhere close to the level that Brian Hartman performed at tclub.team, and Brian said yesterday nobody's reading his stuff, Bino. Why would he say that?
I have no idea, Tony. He's
a
modest man.
That stuff that Brian's been spitting fire. Fire, Bino, fire. All right, let's move along. 5 consecutive super regional appearances for Tony Vitello. Let's put it in perspective. Tennessee is only the seventh program to have done this in college baseball post-1999. Now, you'd say, well, that's not really 7. Okay. Of the 7, only 2 of them are SEC teams. Only 2. Florida hadn't done it. Arkansas hadn't done it. Ole Miss hadn't done it. Mississippi hadn't done it. Texas hasn't done it. All these teams that we've come to think about, the traditional West Coast teams, Bino, with the big, huge stadiums and the fan following of 40 years, they haven't done it. The 2 that have done it are LSU, no surprise, and South Carolina. Thoughts on that?
No, it's an amazing run, Tony. How quickly he rebuilt this program was amazing to us from the very start, especially as early as you have to recruit. And this was pre-NIL. This was at the time when everyone was still out there courting 8th grade baseball players.
That's right.
It's just the job he's done is amazing. Obviously, I misspoke earlier. Pat Summitt was the basketball coach when I was in school, so I've seen a generation. On the men's side, it's been the most amazing performance from a coaching standpoint that I've seen in my lifetime here.
It's funny you mentioned Pat Summitt because we're going to tie it all in here at the end of our little golden nugget. By the way, Bri, hit the legal here. Let's keep it live and legal and local.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Now, before we go back to the phones, I just want to love on what these guys have done in this era just a little more. Texas went to 4 super regionals in a row several times, okay? But never 5 in a row. This 5th one this year is by far the most impressive of Tony's run. The first one where Will Heflin, who will be with you tomorrow on Garza Law, Tennessee Baseball Extra Innings, along with Matt, who's live on site providing full coverage in Arkansas. The first one was really impressive because you took a ragtag group of kids, made them believe, and went down there in your second full season. Tony, and I remember we were having listener watch parties for Tennessee baseball, and I remember Chris Burke and them flashing photos of us up on the screen because it was like nobody does this. Nobody even in the SEC was doing this. They were putting photos of us up, which is just incredible. Because we right away embraced the moment. I never dreamed, though, back then, Bino, that it would be – I never dreamed it would be this. Did you? That they were – when they went to that first one, that they would do 5 years in a row?
No, I don't see how anyone could have foreseen this.
All right.
this level of success.
So Texas did it 4 years in a row several times, but never a fifth, and this is the most impressive. This is without a doubt, and I mean without a doubt, this is by far, to me, his most impressive coaching job. To get this team, after winning a national championship with a bullseye on them all year, losing 6 of 7 series in the middle of that season, to get this team to this spot, I will stand with a couple callers that said this earlier in the week. You don't have to lift another finger to impress me this year. This is an A-plus coaching job by them.
No, it's been an outstanding job, Tony. And they had, this has been a year more full of question marks than any of the others too. A huge turnover, a loss of a lot of leadership off your baseball team, coming off a national championship. Your 2 best players were brought in out of the portal.
Yep.
Their third school in 3 years. So it hasn't been as smooth as some of his others. So he's had to do some problem solving this year that we're unaccustomed to here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fighting Chapmans of Cock County have now entered the building. Rise and shine for the Fighting Chapmans, who are now in the house. All right, here we are. How about Mike Martin at Florida State? You think he tells Rick Barnes, hold my beer, my friend. Florida State went to, are you ready for this? And this is why last year had to be very sickening for them on that Friday night. They made that error, opened the door for us. Tony Vitello told me on the show, he said, Rick Barnes deserves the kind of break that we got. Because if we don't get that break, we don't win the national championship last year. And I love that Tony is so self-deprecating, so honest. It's another thing that makes him very unique. I don't like that he didn't answer my text yesterday. He's urinated me off in that regard. Florida State, Bino's they were in a stretch from 2019 to 2017 where they made 17 super regional appearances in 19 tries.
Boy, oh boy.
In that stretch, 10 years in a row they got to the Supers. 10 years in a row. They went to 20 super regional appearances so far in this century. They've been to the College World Series 8 times. Bino, how many national championships does Florida State have?
They do not have one.
How do you get there that many times and not cut the nets down? How do you do that?
I don't know.
And if that was you, would you lose interest in it? Or would that just ratchet up your interest that much more?
No, I wouldn't lose interest in it if we were going to the College World Series. We are going to the College World Series at a better rate than that. But, no, I wouldn't lose interest in that.
Tony Vols straight up, and I mean straight up, cashed in early on. And it is an utterly amazing. Utterly amazing. Utterly amazing. You know, now let's tie it into women's basketball. Bino, do you remember, and do I remember, and do we remember the Cal State Fullerton team and how good they were early part of the century?
Yes.
I want you to look and see last time they made the college tournament is. When's the last time you heard Cal State Fullerton's name in that sport, Bino? Think about it. Because we were looking it up last night. They rolled the early part of this century. I think they were called the Titans.
Yeah.
And they went out there one year. We played them when Berkey was here. I think we played them in the College World Series. And that's when the bats were super hot. The balls are flying out of the park. Just flying out of the park. Did Mark Kotsay play there? Or
He did.
They had some absolute bombers at Cal State Fullerton. Bino, they are to men's college baseball what Louisiana Tech is to women's basketball.
Yeah, a once great program that kind of disappeared.
Yep. And the reason they disappeared is more teams started taking it seriously.
Yes.
And when the teams that have the bigger bells and the bigger whistles take it seriously, teams like that are going to get the kids that would be playing on their roster are now playing in the Southeastern Conference in the ACC. You look on these SEC teams and these ACC teams, and you look at the California kids on those rosters. Look at our California kids we have. I mean, it's – and I don't blame – do you blame them?
No, not at all.
I don't blame those kids for coming to play in this thing.
No.
So there we go. Very fun. This is going to be an extremely great weekend. I want to hear from you at 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix. Brian says only once for Fullerton since 2018. And I want to say that's NCAA tournament berth. Yes. That's insane. That just shows you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else is my prediction. The UCLAs, the USCs of the world, the Oregons of the world are going to have trouble keeping their place in the sport because no baseball player wants to go play in Piscataway, New Jersey in March. I'm sorry. I've been there. I've done that. That sounds – or Ann Arbor, Michigan, or what's the other place? East Lansing, Michigan, or a weekend trip to Ohio State, or Happy Valley in March, Bino? Go out there and play some baseball in 3 inches of snow?
I've watched the Cubs enough to know Champagne's probably not a place you want to be in March.
Wow. Speaking of Major League Baseball, then we go to the phones. I've seen some bad beats in my day. I've seen some bad jobs closing games, a Phillies fan. We've never seen anything like that Braves game yesterday. How do you lose in Major League Baseball a 6-run lead with 1 out in the 9th inning? That is not possible. And when are they going to let this Snicker guy go? You can't do. I'm a Phillies fan. You cannot be that sentimental in professional sports. Can you? Can you be that sentimental in professional sports, Bino?
I don't think you can, Tony. I don't think you can. And there was little to nothing fluky about that inning. They scored 7 runs and barreled just about every ball, it seemed like.
Yeah,
there weren't any ground balls slipping through the infield.
For the life of me, cannot comprehend, whatever the term is, how the Braves have flatlined like this. But you can't lose a 6-run lead like that. Nothing about that makes sense.
Well, if you don't fire him after an embarrassing day like that, he's likely there for the remainder of the season.
Let's get our next call in on a day with a tremendous, unbelievable caller roster. W. Lynn, welcome in.
How my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, welcome in.
I'm here, Tony. How's everything going?
Brother, it's a great day.
I got a lot to say, if you'll give me the grace to say it. Evan Russell and Will Heflin were outstanding yesterday, and I kind of wanted to give a brief history of UT fandom, the way I see it, and some of it relates to what Chipper Jones does not understand about college sports in the South. And you said it, Tony, we're blue-collar fans. We in the South, and I'm talking about the original SEC. I'm not talking about the way things have gone now. And I'm not talking about Kentucky. the state without a country. We were football first fans for decades and decades and decades. And then a man named Ray Mears came here in the 60s, and we learned to love basketball. Tennessee did. And it took the rest of the SEC a while to catch up, but we learned to love basketball, and now we're basketball fans. Then the Lady Vol showed up, and we kind of learned to love that. At least I did, and a lot of other people in basketball. And then all of a sudden baseball showed up, and I started learning to love it in the 80s when Alan Cockrell was here and Mike McConkey. But we showed, as Tennessee fans, we could really love it in the 1990s, mid-90s. Todd Helton, Bubba Trammell, Chris Freeman, up to the Chris Burke era, 01, 05. And by the way, Chris Burke played against Miami. They were the superpower. Todd Helton and them played against Cal State Fullerton in 95. And all the West Coast teams and all the teams in Texas and Florida and all this, they weren't ready for that. And then we didn't start playing softball till the late 90s or early 2000s. I was over there. They were playing games on Field 3 at Winona for the Lady Vol first tournament. And I was over there working on the fields. And then we learned to love softball. And so, yes, we're not Chipper Jones. We're not like regular Major League Baseball fans. We're blue-collar fans. We love our team. We're going to act a little different. Our crazy is different. Our players, the way they act, are going to be a little bit different. But as Tennessee fans, Tony, we've learned to love everything before most teams in the SEC did. And like you said, you and Bino were saying, once we took all this stuff serious, California people are coming here. You don't want to play up north. Anybody up north that's good in baseball is coming here. And that's just the way it is. And yes, Chipper Jones, we're going to be a little bit different because we're Southern football fans first, but we learn to love all the other sports after. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a very interesting phone call. The way I look at college baseball, and one of the reasons why it kind of speaks to me, it's totally different than Major League Baseball. If you try to watch college baseball through Major League Baseball's eyes, it'll make no sense to you. I love both brands of the sport. The college game, like our mutual friend Darren says, Bino, has about 25% professional wrestling in it. And that 25% professional wrestling, you're either going to embrace or you're going to despise it. This has always been a professional wrestling town, and if professional wrestling was still alive today, it still would be. This is a town, when Ron Wright passed away, our local mayor called the show. We did a 2-hour eulogy on the air. We did a special 4-hour broadcast that day. This is a town that still talks about the Whitey Caldwells of the world and the big Jim Hesses of the world. And we like our wrestling, Bino. And Tony Vitello and his guys have leaned right into that.
Yeah. Tony, I have to check myself at times to quit being such a old school, get off my lawn baseball fan. But that's not only college. I mean, MLB's not what it once was either. I mean, Chipper could aim that ammunition right at Major League Baseball as well as college.
Now, I will say this. Our Twidiots, who are absolute Twidiots, like you just have no idea, they're embarrassing. And some of them are a lower life form, no offense. But our Twidiots, for them to think that he was talking about us when he wasn't, and then Tony Vols had to reach out to him. He got so just eviscerated and ripped apart and personally attacked by our fan base when he wasn't talking about us. it was obvious he was talking about Georgia. And I agree with Chipper Jones in this regard, Bino. If you're going to have a button-down jersey and you only have one button buttoned,
I agree with that.
And I want to see your hairy chest like you're on, like you're dancing on a dance floor somewhere. I mean, hell, lean into it. Wear like 7 gold chains, grease your hair back, ooze machismo, and lean. I mean, what is this Wes Johnson guy letting his Georgia kids wear one button?
No, I don't like that in the least.
It's ridiculous.
You know, Rodon came to the Yankees, and that's the first thing I noticed was that he didn't button up his dang jersey. But, yeah, I mean, Twitter is what Twitter is, Tony. There's always a percentage out there. They're
like Rakosi.
Jailhouse lawyers that are defending against
like
charges that haven't been made.
I'm just going to say it out loud. Sam Rakosi's a chief twittiot. I'm just going to say it right out loud. I'm going to say it with a straight face, just, right to the world. And if you know him, you tell him I told him that. Now, I want to shout out my friends. And W. Lynn, thank you. It's a great call. You put it in perspective like you always did. You break it down scientifically. You moved right to left across my device, and you gave us a history lesson. Before we get to our next great call on this, what I'm calling a Caller Roster Friday, I want to shout out the Knoxville College Bulldogs. The Knoxville College Bulldogs come out here every other month. They're loyal to this place, and I want to shout out the Bulldogs today. Shout you out. Yoshi ho ho. All right, let's move along. Let's get our next call in without further ado. Vandy Joe.
Hey, guys.
Welcome into Caller Roster Friday, brother. How you doing?
Well, I'm vertical. As Bino knows, that's something right now. So I'll take the win any way I can get it. You said Vanderbilt you said something was wrong in your blog with our baseball team. There's nothing wrong with it. They just lost plate discipline for 3 games, and it cost them. It's just that simple. They weren't a number 1 seed. Bino and I talked about that. They were about probably a 6 or 7 seed nationally, and they got a bad draw. Stuff happens. So they didn't play well. They pitched well, except for 1 inning, made 1 defensive miscue, and it cost them a baseball game. And they got a couple of bad breaks, and that was that. Now, you talk about what Tony's done. He's done a remarkable job. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But we've gone to the baseball deal for 19 years now. We replaced Florida State. I think Corbin, outside of what happened last weekend, did his best coaching job this year.
It's a great coaching job. I think he should be coach of the century. Seriously, for getting that group from Vanderbilt to that spot, to being the number 1 seed in that deal. And you said it last week. I mean, the truth about the field is, it's kind of like this upcoming college football season, Bino. I look at that top 10. I don't see anybody great. Do you?
No, I don't see anyone without question marks.
I mean, and that, everybody's got holes. I mean, I don't know who's going to get. The thing about it is, I don't know who's going to get to Omaha. At this point, right now, Murray State may make Omaha. Now, wouldn't that be a hoot?
I'd root them on. I love.
I would too.
My favorite thing, guys, about this tournament is that these big teams with all the money can't hoard all these kids. It's not like basketball. Can't hoard the kids. There's a ton of not great, but very good baseball players out there that can do on any given day, that can do something on a 1-game situation and knock you out. How do you explain Arkansas Little Rock pushing LSU to the brink middle innings, had the lead in the middle innings.
Yeah, have no idea.
You can't. I mean, they beat them one game. Who would have ever thought that would have even happened?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, I'm all for it. As you say, I'm for it, not against it. So, but the key to the series, I don't know who's going to win it. I mean, I think they're relatively evenly matched. I think the key to the series is going to be Cam Coastal. You shut him down, you got a very good chance of beating Arkansas. They've got pressure on them. I mean, the thing about it is they've not gotten where they've needed to get for what? Going on 4 years now? 5 years? They hadn't been to the college World Series in what, 5 years? And they've been a host all 5 of those years.
No, actually, no, it's not true. It's even better than that. They went a couple of years ago.
Oh, I didn't.
They went as a road team. They fought their way out of, I think it was an ACC school. I want to say it was North Carolina, which even exemplifies your point that much more, which is there's something that happens to their team in that building that we've got to speak into existence tomorrow night, Bino. You run into one, get a lead, Beanstar, in the middle innings, and let those players sort of feel the voodoo, brother.
Yeah, and let the crowd get tense too, which the team can feel.
I think it's going to really be interesting to see what Tony does. Is he going to start Phillips, or has that been made known yet?
No, he hasn't said yet.
We don't know yet, Joe.
He won't return my message.
Well, hey, and to that, you guys were talking a little bit on Monday about the dust-up between Corbin and the beat writer in Nashville. You need to go back. There's a backstory to that. There's a lot of history to that. She was a softball player, I believe, in college, and she thinks that she's a coach by extension, and some of the stuff that she posts on her X account probably is, in fact, I know, has rubbed Corbs the wrong way, and she's out of her lane, I guess I'll say. Now, was he right in what he probably said to her? No. But I can see why he did it. He's not going to throw his kids under the bus. That's the first thing, and that's what she was looking for. Sort of like what Tony did to you, a couple of weeks ago before the SEC tournament started. He sort of bit you with that slide stuff.
Yeah, but you know what, Joe? When you look at somebody and say, have you ever played, and you know they haven't played, I mean, come on. And I'll ask you, what postseason did Tim Corbin play in? Because I'm waiting. How many postseason baseball games did he play in?
I didn't say he had.
Well,
some of the best coaches that are in the game are guys that never made a postseason game.
I didn't say that. Don't defend him snapping at her like that. He has no right. He has no right to snap at her like that. Zero, and you know better than that. Come on, that's classless to do that.
I'm not saying he did the right thing.
No, he did
but
a classless
I understand
thing.
Why he did it.
He did a classless thing, Joe. It was very classless. Bad look on his part.
Well, I'll give you part of it, but I won't give you all of it. Me knowing the history.
Well, she covers his team and doesn't kiss his rear end. That's the part of it.
That's not it. All I'll say is you need to go read.
I love her.
Her ex-post, and you might find out a little bit about why he feels the way he does.
I think she's excellent covering baseball. I think she knows the sport when I read her stuff.
I'm not talking about what you read. I'm talking about what she posts. There's a big difference.
Joe, thank you. Bino, you're going to defend him? Go ahead, Bino. Defend him.
No, all I said earlier in the week, Tony, is I understand in the heat of the moment why these I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, but you cannot go beyond the boundaries like he went. You can't ask her if she's ever played. That's nonsense. And you can't throw in there, don't throw in any of your ancillary BS. You can't do that. But, you know, these coaches, after those gut punch losses, I'm surprised more of them don't lose it.
Well, you know, and you have a personal issue. Here's the thing about it. If you got that personal of an issue from her, don't answer questions from her. That's how you handle that. If it's gotten to that point, you tell the media relations people, I'm not talking to her. I'm not talking to her. And that's the end of that. But that's where I'm at. 865-200-5402. But let's not defend the guy. I mean, come on now. She's somebody that's doing something that we don't see done these days, which is to say she's with a team every day and is not afraid to ask a tough question. And you know what? That stands out like a sore thumb when you do it in today's day and age. Because most people want their access. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And they've stacked the deck now in all these sports, more so ever, on these people that work for sites or work for wherever, because they don't have editors that are going to stand up for them. Power's going to push them around. And so the beat writer is really put in a precarious position to be dictated to. And that lady's not going to be that lady said to him, after that Louisville game, she said, what was the approach? What was your approach offensively? You know, couldn't you intervene in the approach? It's kind of like me when I'm watching the air night. Is it a fair thing to ask of Tennessee, can you give Bargo a take sign? Can you give Reese Chapman a take sign when you got a kid from Wake Forest who strikes out, for every one strikeout, has 4 walks on the year? Can you go up there and take a few pitches? Is that a fair thing to ask?
That's a fair thing to question, yeah.
Okay. The kid from Wake throws 8 straight balls, okay? We got a guy that goes up for a first pitch swinging. I'm sorry. As somebody that's an observer of this, who kind of played the game, I mean, I didn't play at your level. You're making a funny face. You don't think that's a fair thing to ask?
No, I just think that's today's baseball. I ask those questions all the time, but today's baseball is just not played the way that I was accustomed to seeing it played.
Even in the MLB level, right? You see those guys?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter.
A guy will throw 10 straight balls.
Yeah.
The guy gets in that box, hasn't even been watching what's been going on. He's going to swing.
I'll never understand how we got the point at any level where contact doesn't matter much anymore.
That's right. I love that. I love these geeks that went to the Ivy schools telling me with a straight face, and I mean with a straight face, these geeks telling me that a strikeout's the same thing as putting the ball in play. That's the most idiotic thing in the world. We'll take a brief timeout. Doesn't matter if you put the ball in play or not. Doesn't matter. Really? Is that right? Doesn't matter. We're going to come back on the other side at 865-200-5402 and continue with more. It is a caller roster Friday unlike any other. Let's see if we can keep the hot streak going as we continue with more on the other side right after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
It's back! You asked for it and you got it. All You Can Eat Wednesdays is back with your Knoxville Smokies. The most delicious Wednesday dinner. All you can eat pulled pork, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, Uncle Ray's potato chips, popcorn, Pepsi products, and more. Is anyone else getting hungry? But we aren't finished yet. This week we've also got Thirsty Thursday, Princess Night and fireworks on Friday, 90s Night and the Toy Story game, and fireworks on Saturday. And our Sunday day game is a huge mascot party. Get your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Peace of mind is priceless, especially when it comes to your home safety and your family's comfort. That's why the pros at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling created the Peace of Mind Maintenance Plan. Preventative maintenance for HVAC and plumbing is like changing your vehicle's oil, and experts recommend scheduling regular system checks to keep everything running smoothly. With Peace of Mind, you can safeguard your home from unexpected costly breakdowns and repairs. You'll get tons of benefits, including full system checks on HVAC and plumbing systems, water heater flushes, sewer camera inspection, 10% automatic discount on repairs, priority bookings, no service fees, and much more. Monthly service plans are as low as $20.25 per month, and total annual services are valued at over $1,500. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to sign up or schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hi there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, I've got good news for you. The East Tennessee and Knoxville areas are projected to have another strong year. I'll be happy to talk with you about the latest and greatest info you need. So give me a call at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey,
Advent.
whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402, the numero uno, numero dos. Let's go back to our phones. We get ready for the Super Regional round. Sam is up next with us, followed by Marvansky, followed by Will. Sam, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, Brother Bino, what's up, brothers?
Hey, Sammy, how we doing, my man?
Man, a little hot, but hey, we're hanging in.
Little hot, little smoky here, my brother. Little smoky. Canadian wildfires. We could use some rain here. That air is brutal, man.
Tony, first a couple comments. Tie back in with the music situation. So I ain't really worried about this week, and I think we're going to beat them in 2 games.
No, we're going to talk music.
But,
we're not worried about the. I like you, man. I like that a lot.
Hey, Bino, Matt, it's so funny. Matt doesn't want Tony to call the shot and jinx us.
Yep.
It's like a few weeks ago, Bino. He said our Toronto Maple Leafs, and then the next game they lost 6-0.
Silly old jinx, you man. But see, I don't get any credit last week when I called that parlay right on the money. Bino, give him a score update on my North Carolina boys.
North Carolina put a 5 spot on Arizona in the bottom of the first, and it is 5-1 Tar Heels.
North Carolina is going to beat them like they're mad at them this weekend.
Well, Tony, Vitello is a phenomenon. Bino's kind of talked about it. It's kind of like another phenomenon by the name of Billy Strings, who came out with the boys last night in Chicago, was never be forgotten by this living fan. And another musical, and Bino, this ties in with Jim Irsay, who is rest in peace. But Tony, did you see his guitar collection?
No, they say that was insane, though.
A guy in Dubai offered him over $1 billion for his guitar collection, and he turned it down. Brother, he has David Gilmour's guitar that he played on Dark Side of the Moon, son. He's got it's incredible. So look it up.
I will do that. Was he a player? Is Irsay a musician?
Yeah, I believe so. But his guitar, it's insane. He's got one of the Beatles guitars. He's got Ringo's drum set. Like, it's crazy, bro. But
wow.
It travels. He puts it out for the public, and it travels the country on display.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
He's got Bob Dylan's first electric that he played at the Newport Folk Festival.
Oh, wow.
It's unbelievable. But
hey, Bino, who's the Colts owner now? Is it in his family?
It's still in the family, Tony, but I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
Who's going to call the shots?
Well, man.
Interesting.
This series is so compelling, Tony. I told you I was upset that we had to go there and play. But now that it's here, and the last thing you want to do is piss off a Tony Vitello team and tell them they aren't ready and they've fallen off. Just all the storylines, it's going to be absolutely, tell Andy and them, it's going to be incredible. I'm thinking we're going to beat them 2 games. Now, my question is to y'all on the way out, do you think – I think Abernathy now, with all the crap I've talked about your boy Nega Dave, he does have a point. I think Abernathy needs to be in there, son. What do you think he puts him in there and maybe leaves Bargo on the DH role or maybe off the bench coming in for a big spot to get a hit?
Sammy, I don't see it happening. I think Abernathy's role is going to be just what it's been. It's going to be a late-inning defensive replacement. I think Tony believes that 3 through 6 cannot continue to swing the bats as cold as they've swung them. And I think he's probably right. I think Bargo's 2 for 28. I'm not saying he should be hitting fourth, but I think he's 2 for 28 from the Southeastern Conference tournament all the way through to this point. He's too good a hitter for that to continue that way. It's not going to continue.
And the crazy thing about it is, watch that kid hit the baseball this weekend.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Now, if he goes out this weekend and strikes out 7 times and they get swept, you can blame the manager for that. Truth. That's how it works.
Well,
that is a fair thing to question him, and also the Chapman kid. Those guys have not. Bargo more than Chapman, but those two guys have not hit the baseball enough to stay in the lineup recently. When you have
the question
capable
is,
replacements,
who do you replace them with?
Well, you got capable guys. You got young guys. You just got to give them a chance. But the problem with that is you're going to go with guys that haven't had the number of at bats.
I think if you were going to do that, you had to do it much earlier than
Yes, I agree with that.
Well, and I'll just quit questioning Tony Balls, because after that kid struck the kid out on 100-mile-an-hour pitch, I'm thinking, why are you pulling him out? And then Doyle goes out there and does what he does, just makes a legendary performance. Tony, on the way out, what is the betting line? Who's favored in this series?
Oh, Arkansas is favored. I don't know by how much, but Arkansas is the favored. Arkansas is favored in the series. I don't know the exact number, but, yeah, Arkansas is favored in the series. So that's where we are.
Right on.
Thank you, my
well,
brother.
That's what we need. We need to be underdogs because, like I said, last thing you want to do is upset a Tony Ball's team. Hey, underdogs is where we like it. They're going to put it on them, son. GBO, brother. We'll talk soon.
Love it. Let's get Marvin in here, who's up next with us on the Friday edition on your Tony Basilio show. Marvin, welcome in.
What about it, brother? Yoshi-hee-ho.
Hey, we continue the
what do you say, Marvin?
The hot string, the hot calls here.
What's up there, Bino? Any senior league baseball this weekend there, brother?
No. There's never been any senior league baseball for me. I found out when I was 19 I couldn't hit it.
Hey, Bino, do you ever think about trying baseball?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
Are those guys that play the senior league baseball, is the ball going fast? They hit it around. Do they what kind of velos do people pitch it? You think of that?
I don't. Most of those guys are. You rarely see anybody over 40 or so that plays that. I don't know what the pitch would be. Probably somebody may be throwing low 80s in that.
Because I spent some time in South Florida, and I've gone out and seen on Marco Island. I've watched those guys play. It looks like a pretty good level of baseball.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
What they're playing. You need to get out there and do it, Bino.
Hey,
Arkansas,
there, brother. I don't know if anybody's really mentioned it, but what's the weather going to be like in Arkansas? Maybe they can get that, what's her name, Margot Heath Shooter or whatever her name is on Channel 6 to talk about the weather. I ain't heard no weather report out there.
The weather report is that tomorrow there's a chance of rain. It's not tremendously supposed to impact the game, but that's even more reason to throw the Phillips guy out there if you think it's going to rain. I'm trying to buy Doyle as much rest as I can.
Yes, I agree with you, Tony. I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if they throw Liam Doyle in game one.
Of course, this Vitello guy's a nut. So he's capable of doing anything, but my inclination is that they're going to go tomorrow with Phillips. And, Bino, you just looked up what the line is. Hit it.
Arkansas is by Orange Throat is minus 145. Which is not a huge number.
No. There is
not a huge number.
There's a 71% chance of rain tomorrow in Fayetteville. Thunderstorms in the morning. Partly cloudy in the afternoon. Storms could be severe. Chance of rain 70%. So at the very least, it's going to be a highly humid day when they take the field tomorrow.
I just think for Tennessee, you got to go in with the mindset that you've got to score at least 7 runs a game, brother. I just don't see any way around it, Tony, the way they hit the ball out there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. That series is as comfortable as Tennessee looked all year, in my alleged mind.
Yeah, they played well down there. Sure did.
It's as comfortable as they've looked
did.
all year.
I think you're right, Marvin. I think this is not going to be – there aren't going to be any 3-2 games in this series. You score 3 runs, you're in trouble.
I mean, that's no disrespect to the pitching staffs either side, brother, but, I mean, you got guys that they're paid to hit it. We got to see it this weekend if they're going to get to the next level.
No doubt about it, Marvansky.
Hey, Tony, one last thing. Is this push going to pass or not, or what's going on with that since you all started all that crap?
Bino's in favor of it. The push. Bino in favor of it?
I really don't care one way or another, Tony.
It's not polarizing to some NFL fans have said to me, it's really late week that your team, hey, look, you get you a quarterback that squats 700 pounds and you run it. Because that's the deal.
Well, if the Big Orange can ever get close enough to the goal line, brother, maybe we can run it. See you.
What'd he say?
If a Big Orange could ever get close enough to the goal line, maybe we could run it.
Let's get Will in here. He's up next with us. Will, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. I've just spent a week down on the Florida Panhandle and headed back to God's country. It's got me thinking about the best thing that ever came out of Alabama.
And what is that?
That'd be I-65 North.
It's a great line, brother.
We're, hat tip to my uncle listening in the mid-state on delay. But going to the weekend here, Sammy kind of hit on one of my questions. First off, we've got Stone Lawless in the lineup as a right-handed bat. And I believe Levi Clark is a right-handed bat as well. I'm wondering if the ripple effect of taking that switch-hitting bat out of the lineup could lead to other shakeups, trying to get that lefty-righty split right. Of course, I'm sure it'll depend on who Arkansas throws, but any thought to that? I know Sammy already hit on it a little bit.
Go ahead, Bino.
I believe that Arkansas's first starter. Let's see. Let's get Matt's stuff up here real quick. I think he may be one of those kind of reverse split pitchers. So I'm uncertain if that's going to make a huge difference. At least while Matt had him listed first. I don't know that means he's starting the first game, but that might have something to do with it. But I don't think you're going to see. I think you're going to see the lineup we've been seeing.
Yep.
Will. I think the only difference is Lawless is going to catch. And we're going to be a little bit more right-handed than we're accustomed to.
The thing about Tony, Will, to me, is that he's not going to juggle his lineup. I'll be shocked if he does, because it's just not what they do. And by the way, if I were them, I would stagger bats more than they do, but they don't even do that, Bino. They don't. And he's, kind of like, I think the splits in the college game, I've talked to Berkey about this off the air. I think the splits in the college game, Bino, are overrated versus the professional level.
Yeah, I think that's true. I believe that's true because I don't think these guys have command like most major league pitchers do. Here's what I was talking about, Will.
Yeah.
If Zach Root starts first, and that's who Matt has listed first. He's a left-handed pitcher, but versus right-handers, they hit 226 against him, and left-handers hit 250, which is basically backwards. But there's not a huge difference between those two numbers, but still, he's better. He's better against right-hand hitters than he is against left.
Yeah, that's interesting. It kind of tracks on the larger conversation about the rules of baseball don't always apply in all these situations, especially in college. I do hope they'll keep Manny Marin down there in the 9 hole. It's worked out like he's been kind of another leadoff there, and you got Fisher coming up in a lot of big RBI spots. I do hope that they don't put Lawless there. I've liked the way that's kind of laid out here lately. But one other thing, of course, Phillips being the starter is kind of the general consensus, and I'll admit I've questioned Tony V a lot this year, and he continues to prove everybody who questions him wrong. I was very in favor of throwing Phillips game 1 against Miami of Ohio because I was worried about the run game of Cincinnati and just felt like we could blow Miami of Ohio away with Marcus Phillips. Well, as it played out, had we done that, you've got no Liam Doyle coming back on Monday. So, perhaps it looks like he's not thinking the obvious thing sometimes, but then he's thinking another layer. And just to bring him in with 1 out in the 7th and get those final outs of the game in a way that nobody else in the country could have done, I don't think. It just kind of shows you I just need to probably shut up and enjoy it, and we'll see what happens. I like Williams' prediction. We'll win in 2 and 3, and I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you, brother. Hey, listen, Tony Vitello did not have a very good year this year managing. Pushed a lot of wrong buttons. A lot of the stuff he did kind of blew up in his face. Here's the reason he's so good, though. When he absolutely had to be good, which is when it mattered last week. Like Will Heflin said, VIP play Will Heflin. By the way, promo code TNTony. Sign up today. Play the parlay. I'm already off to a great start. Now, Bino, can they play the parlay right now, even though North Carolina's already underway, or would that lock it?
I would think that parlay's locked.
You darn bunch of losers. You're going to watch me cash a ticket 2 weeks in a row. So
they should have jumped on, Tom.
Here's the thing is, he had an uneven year managing because they didn't really have a handle on this team, right?
Yeah.
He came out and got a couple pitchers too soon. He did too much of that matchup stuff, and it blew up in his face. The one thing that they don't do with their lineup is the matchup stuff, but then they manage their pitchers with the matchup stuff. It doesn't – why wouldn't I let you – why do I have to come get you after one batter when you just gotten out and you smoke somebody at the collegiate level? It makes me so – it's to me, that's overcoaching. I love what they've done in Major League Baseball. I didn't like it at first. Hey, you bring a guy in from the bullpen – he's got to pitch to 3 batters now. I can't overmanage.
This team had so many more questions.
Yeah.
Than his previous teams.
Yep.
With the exception of very early in his tenure, that he was bound to not hit at the percentage that we'd become accustomed to seeing hit at.
Yep. But last week he was perfect. That thing that our Will just talked about, and we'll have a safe trip back, but that is a incredible point. Starting the guy you started worked out to the point where you're now able to turn around and make a winning play at the end of the game and give us that incredible moment that people here will never forget. Back to the phones we go. Holly, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Holly.
Wish I was down at Calhouns today with you guys. But I was just looking online. I was talking to a guy, and he was talking about the insanity of the price tickets. He said that the get-in price, and I'm not sure, I mean, it's like way back in that big stadium is $107. And the seats down by where, UT gets a few seats, it's like $250, and then anything around the bowl and the back behind the pitcher's mound and around there is going for about anywhere from $560 to $760 for tomorrow's game. And he was talking about how crazy it was. compared to the prices even at the World Series. So I thought that was interesting. But I had two questions. First of all, who are the three pitchers that'll be the main pitchers for Arkansas if we go 3 games, and how do they compare with our 3 main ones? That's really the main question I have.
Tennessee has, Holly, the advantage in the 3rd game because Arkansas has yet to really identify. They're right now, they list a lefty. Belteshaich is how we say his name. But, Gackle's a guy they're going to use in a leverage spot. We saw this when we played them earlier in the year. But then they beat us in that 3rd game. We couldn't beat anybody in a getaway game. But now that you're in the postseason, it's going to be extremely, extremely interesting to see if we get to a 3rd game. Because the guy we had on earlier in the week, Dudley Dawson, said he thinks Tennessee would have the advantage in pitching if it comes to a 3rd game. He said that's Arkansas's fear, is that this thing would get to a 3rd game. Bino, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they've got 2 pitchers that have started the majority of their games. I look at what we've done, and I'm not sure how we could have a great advantage in Game 3 unless it's A.J. Russell out there throwing really well.
Dudley's thought was, though,
if they have to use what I heard him say was if they have to use a lot of pitchers in the first 2 games,
right,
that they would struggle to find arms in the 3rd.
What we need to cheer for is that Tennessee hits the baseball,
gets their starters out early,
gets the pitch counts up.
Yeah.
They have got to watch pitches. This first pitch swinging stuff drives me nuts at the collegiate level because these kids don't locate. These kids do not locate, as my North Carolina boys are now up 8-1. And North Carolina, the reason I think they could cut them down, Holly, is when you can hit the baseball, you can win the whole darn shooting match because you can out-pitch out-hit your lack of pitching. But, Holly, I appreciate you. Listen, I think we're going to get 1,000 fans in there. I think our people are going to that place. I think our fans are crazy. And I even love you all that are Twidiots because if you're a part of our fan base, I love you. I'm not sure the Twidiots love me after this week, but I want to thank my friends at Calhouns for being a great partner with us.
Absolutely.
If we win and get to the College World Series, we're back here next Friday. No doubt about it. Bino, what happens?
Tony, I think the Vols are going to do what they do in the postseason and win another Super Regional. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you can win Super Regionals at the percentage and consistency they do.
I love you. To the radio listener, I love you. Thanks to our special.
1040 AM, 99.7 FM.
Translator W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.